2024 has been a transformative year for many businesses in the food and beverage sector, especially with mergers and acquisitions. One such company has been Fruitas Holdings. From Mang Lechon Manok to legacy brand exclusive distribution rights in Cebu and Zamboanga, Fruitas is now a key player in the Philippines' growing food retail industry. Today we'll explore how these expansions impact businesses, consumers, and even the hospitality sector. Joining us is Calvin Chua, Chief Financial Advisor of Fruitas Holdings, to talk about what these moves mean for businesses, personal budgets, and the broader economy. Calvin, a pleasure to have you on the program. Good morning.
Good morning, Ray.
Thank you so much for joining us. Fruitas Holdings, of course, has been on an expansion spree this year with acquisitions like Mang Lechon Manok and legacy brand distribution. Can you share with us how these moves fit into Fruitas' Holdings' long-term strategy and what consumers and businesses can expect next?
So since our IPO, we've actually had this aim of having a Fruitas product in each Filipino household. So all of these moves are geared towards that. Um, we started, well, one of the key acquisitions that we did was Balay Pandesal, which tried to cater to the breakfast needs of the Filipino. And then we are slowly expanding our our food offerings, which would complement our beverage offerings as well.
Right. Well, of course, the Philippine food and beverage industry has been growing 8% year on year this year so far, driven by demand for convenient dining options. How is your company capitalizing on this trend, and do you foresee any challenges sustaining this momentum?
So I think the Philippines is still at the verge of really the fast growth phase. Our GDP per capita is still below $4,000. We are in the sweet spot in terms of our young population. So we are actually picking up all the tools, all the ingredients for us to be able to capitalize on that. In terms of challenges, of course, there's geopolitical tension, which may lead to imported inflation. Um, and of course, with increasing costs, we don't know how that will affect consumer demand and the bottom line as well.
Understood. You mentioned inflation already, of course, with the rising cost of food and production hovering at about 3.2% as of last month. Are there pricing strategies that you're using to balance profitability and affordability for consumers?
So it's very selective. We gauge which products are actually catering to the upper end of the sector and those who are able to afford higher prices. At the same time, we are trying to maximize productivity so that we don't have to pass on any cost increases to our customers. So um, our motto has always been um, providing value for money products to the Filipino. So as much as possible, we don't want to increase that much every year.
Understood. Now, earlier we actually saw a report from the PSE saying that they're expecting that the upcoming second presidency of Donald Trump would affect the economic landscape, not just around the world, but of course here as well. Would you agree with that assertion? And what would you say might be the top economic, national or local otherwise, that might affect business or your industry?
Yeah, I think what people see in terms of a Trump presidency is that he will impose pro-US policies, which includes imposing tariffs on products from multiple countries, right? So Philippines is not necessarily an export dependent country, but you know, it may be viewed as Asia as a whole. So therefore, in terms of investment options, Philippines might not be as favored as before, no? But you would note that during the earlier Trump presidency, even if he did the same policies, he implemented the same policies, there was even a rally for Philippine stocks. Now, in terms of actual performance for companies, I think it would be from a company to company basis. As long as each company or as long as your company performs and delivers to its stakeholders, I think it should be fine.
All right, and we're actually showing your company performance right now, and we also noted that revenues for you have grown as well as your net income. Where do you see what's your forecast or outlook for your revenues and income in the coming months, coming year even?
So we actually had a 19% revenue growth for Fruitas Holdings in 2020. Oh, well, first 9 months of 2024. We hope to sustain that until the end of the year. We think 2025 would be even a better year with the acquisitions that we've had and integrating them into our system. Um, we will actually push in several fronts. Lingnam, we think, still has multiple legs to grow. And of course, our beverages would would grow in Visayas and Mindanao. So all in all, a very positive year next year.
Right, and the positivity, of course, coming from acquisitions. Often, though, they do bring challenges. What were some of the most difficult decisions that the company has had to face when it comes to this period of aggressive expansion? How did you address concerns from franchisees or stakeholders?
I would say the more difficult decisions actually happen before the actual acquisition. Um, Even before the actual acquisition, we try to ensure that the integration would be easy, that it would really deliver a more complete offering for our customers. Post acquisition, of course, there are issues around putting together several commissaries, etc. So that's really the operational side where we have to make some critical decisions.
And we recently saw a report that your bakery stores have expanded rapidly in recent years and that some observers suggest they're evolving towards a convenience store model. Is that correct? Is that a correct description? Is this a deliberate strategy? And what are the next steps in enhancing the customer experience through this approach? Do you still have gaps that you have to fill?
It is a very deliberate strategy. We think Filipinos are um, moving towards convenience stores as their place where they want to consume their food and beverages. Uh, One of the steps that we want to do is to really broaden our merchandise offerings. So we've had several partnerships. Uh, Paul and Hopia is one of it. We are working with several other partners to add their products into our stores. Um, the next, the other step would probably be incorporating meals into our offerings in Balay Pandesal. So that would really create a complete offering for our clients.
How much of your business would you say has been from online transactions, would you say, and as opposed to in-person sales? And would you say that that is key in your strategy in terms of expansion?
Now it's in the mid-teens, mid-teen percentages. We believe that online would continue to grow in the future, and we are also building up our team to be able to focus on that. Um, of course, Filipinos still would like to be able to go to physical locations, so it will still be a combination of physical and digital.
On that note, Calvin Chua, Chief Financial Advisor of Fruitas Holdings, thank you so much for sharing your insights with us today. We appreciate
Thank
it.
you very much.
Grateful. Now, Fruitas Holdings demonstrates how strategic growth can create value not just for investors, but also for Filipino consumers and local businesses. A reminder of the importance of resilience and innovation in the food industry.